Hello, and welcome back to the School of Wizardry. My name is Craze, and this is an immediate follow-up video following the early game video that I made not too long ago. In this video, we are going to be specifically talking about the Hiisi Base location along the main path of the game. And the reason why I wanted to make a dedicated video to the Hiisi Base is because for many newer players, this is the large difficulty spike of the game, and the reason being is it just plays very, very differently comparatively to the other stages of the game. It is very dense, very claustrophobic. There are a lot of enemies around, and there are a lot of explosives around. So, I conveniently, for the stage, have electricity and explosion immunity, as we saw earlier, and we also did pick up homing shots at the very end of the last video. But even so, even with or without these, I will still be exploring this stage with the intent of teaching players how to kind of handle it. But it's very, very easy, actually, believe it or not, how to handle this stage, but it can be pretty difficult sometimes. So, before we go on, I want to go ahead and show you the wand that we are going to go through here, because off screen I did do a little bit of purchasing of these other ones here and doing some slippy swapping around. So last video we did talk about triggers a little bit and how they can be used as a delivery mechanism, but we didn't really go much in depth into them because I just didn't have a good source for it, or I didn't have like a really good combination of stuff to really represent it or show it off well. But now we actually have a decent way to show this off. So for this wand, you have a trigger bolt here that is going to deliver a double spell of these two bouncing bursts. Both of these bursts are being buffed by a damage plus spell, which gives them both an additional 10 damage. And the spark bolt itself is going to be able to cast a little bit faster because of the reduced charge time modifier. All of these modifiers and spells in a later video I will discuss in a little bit more detail and how to get good value out of everything. But understand that this simple combination of this wand right here will be more than enough to handle basically anything that is thrown at us in the Hiisi Base. If you really wanted to go a step further and beyond, if you had the ability to do so on top of this, this has a freeze charge on it. You could add that to your spell or an electric charge, both of which would be very well. But this will be fine. If we shoot the statue over here, a single shot does upwards of 30 damage to 20 to 30 damage. Very high damage, and because of the homing, even if we miss the shot directly, our spell will kind of just bounce around, go towards it. So we actually have a really, really good combination of perks right now that'll make Hiisi Base a lot easier. But I will still be explaining stuff as we go along, how to handle Hiisi Base, even if you did not have the greatest of perks. So, let's go ahead and get started. So, the very first thing that you want to do when you come into Hiisi Base is be very cautious on your way you're down in here. Right off the rip, immediately we got an enemy, and he picked up a wand. I did not want to deal with that, so we're going to grab that. And we're just going to go ahead and drop. That was a medic that we just killed right there. And you can see just right off the rip immediately, there is just guys coming our way without even hesitation. This is where the difficulty of Hiisi Base can really just come into play, and it does not hold your hand. As soon as you drop in, you can just be getting swarmed with stuff, and it can be really, really tricky and difficult to handle just everything that gets thrown at you if it's really bad. So just immediately, we had like 3 guys coming our way. We have a CEO here immediately. Thankfully, he is on fire. So we're just going to very quickly get rid of him, or at least trigger a bunch of stuff. And ow. Gonna just play this extremely cautiously. So, one of the big issues with Hiisi Base for a lot of players is, again, just how densely claustrophobic it is and just the amount of enemies that spawn. It can be extremely scary, and depending on just how good your wand is, you may or may not have an easy time here. Honest to God, I'm going to be real with you guys. This area is just honestly just a wand check. Do you have a decent enough wand? If you don't have a good wand, you're going to have a bad time here. this is actually fairly decent, and our perks are also fairly decent for this place. So I'm actually going to have a pretty easy time, but I can still absolutely have a bad time here, even with this stuff. So, as with the other stages, if we're going to explore, we want to stay up near the the top, right here along the brickwork, and we're going to go left or right. Right off the gate, we have a sentry right here, and if we go this way, we have what looks to be maybe another sentry. No, we have a shield. So we're gonna go this way. Try to quickly clear this guy out, just like so. Keep myself doused in water. Water is absolutely going to be an important thing here in this stage because of just how many explosions are going to go off. And we're going to slowly make our way along the edge. So here we go. We have a sentry. I didn't really get to show this off last video, but you can see here he is off screen from me and he is still taking pot shots at me. If I hover up right here, he might take a pot shot at me. Maybe. He might have actually fell down. He might have dropped down. Nope, he is still there. And this is kind of where a lot of the scary issues with Hiisi as a whole, not Hiisi Base, but the Hiisi enemies as a whole, can be. And that is just the off-screen sniping of you. So when you get a situation like this, where you have an enemy off-screen that's taking pot shots at you, and you just really can't get an angle on him, you can do one of two things. If you have the option to, you can try to lob shots over in his direction, which is what I'm doing right here. I probably could do this. If you have a teleport wand, you can try to teleport into closer range so you can actually get him. Or you could just ignore him. Sometimes just ignoring the enemy and going the other way is the best option that you can do. So, I did get rid of him because of the electricity. But you can see we've only just entered the stage and I'm already just about down to half my health. So Hiisi Base does not play around. Even with a decent wand like this, if you even just the lightest of sloppy plays can really end your run. So you can see here, I'm just, whenever I see even so much as an enemy, I'm always retreating back to an area I know I've cleared. This is the biggest thing that you need to be able to do when you're in the Hiisi Base, is always make sure that you have a way to get back to somewhere that you know is clear and that you know you can run back to for safety, for cover, for really anything. You can see here just coming this way, there's just still more guys coming in. I kill one, there's always another one coming in. And this is where Hiisi Base can really just get a lot of people. It's just, it's a horde stage. They just keep coming over and over and over again. There's almost never what seems to be an end of enemies. And it can really throw people off. So, another big thing to do when you're in the Hiisi Base as well, while you're in here, is because of just how condensed this place is, if you see an explosive, just get rid of it. Get rid of it on point. You should honestly be doing that in every stage, but in Hiisi Base specifically, if you see an explosive barrel, if you see an explosive box, if you see anything explosive, get rid of it. Now, we actually conveniently have a very scary explosive right here. So this right here, this purple thing right here, if I can find a good spot for it right here. This purple little container right here is a propane tank. This thing will end you no matter what, because it does a lot of damage. It does way too much damage. If you see a propane tank, this is also an explosive, but you need to be very cautious with this, because this explosive, when you shoot it, it can propel itself into a random direction. My advice is, if you don't have a way to detonate a tank in like 1 or 2 shots, just don't mess with it. I have a one that should be able to detonate it in a couple shots, and I also have explosive immunity, so I'm not as concerned with it. But I'm going to, from a very safe distance, like this might even be too close, but I'm gonna quickly get rid of it. And not only does it have explosion to it, it has freezing vapor. Freezing vapor does tick damage to you over time, a little bit right there, just to show you as the example. And we're going to very cautiously move right along. So, we have another, looks like a shieldy boy down there. There's a propane tank. Get rid of that before I even look down there. I got immediately shot by another sentry type. That sentry type that did just shoot me actually was arguably the scariest one. That little green light right there. And the reason being is because that sentry is much tankier than the other ones and will fire at you rapid fire, similar to the Gatling gun, and do a lot of damage and a lot of knockback. So they are a bit rarer to run into. They're not as common as you can see here, like just kind of like taking a peek over the edge if I can get him to shoot me. The Gatling gun's shooting me, but not the main guy that I want to shoot me. Like that, he will rip into you. So if you see this sentry specifically, this little green light in the distance, I would honestly just advise just not even going in this direction. I would honestly just advise just ignore it. Don't attempt it. Don't even look at him. He will end your run faster than just about anything else in this area because of just how much damage he can output very quickly. So we're just going to ignore him. We're going to go the other direction. Get rid of any explosives you see along the way, because the less explosives you have to deal with on your way back through stuff, the better. Gonna maybe head down. There's a propane tank right there. I barely saw that one. Got a CEO right here. Kind of try to get rid of him and his boys as he spawns them. Be very cautious about where you're going. There's a sentry right here. So you kind of deal with him really quickly, just like so. Got another explosive. Not even going to deal with it. The one up here. I'm probably not going to go up in that direction, but it's better to get rid of it. Always get rid of any explosives that you see, even if you're not going to go in that direction. You never know what will happen. I'm going to go ahead and see if we can dig our way into here. Try to grab this wand. I have any kind of spread? No. Got homing, right? Okay, okay. So that was an example right there of me not paying attention to stuff that I have. So because I have homing shots and this sentry was so close, these missiles came basically right back at me and caused me a little bit of damage. If I did not have explosion immunity right there, I probably was dead on impact right there. So be very cautious about what you are shooting, and your perks can very well be both beneficial and detrimental depending on what you're running. So be very, very cautious. Gotta get in here, concentrated spell with a Lumi Drill. Lumi Drill is extremely strong. And we'll get into why it's very strong at a later video. But for now, just understand that if you see a Lumi Drill, specifically a normal Lumi Drill, not a Lumi Drill with timer, definitely hold on to it because it can be very, very game-changing. So as we explore Hiisi Base, Hiisi Base is not a place that I personally like looking for resources. I don't like looking for wands. I don't like looking for hearts. Honest to God, my main goal with Hiisi Base is just get out of Hiisi Base. I'm not here to explore. I'm not here to find resources. I'm not here to find hearts. This place has a very low spawn chance in my experience for all of that stuff. And just with how quickly you can just be absolutely deleted from the surface of this world in this place, it's just not worth it. I don't think it's worth it. So ideally, what you want to do is just go down as quickly as you can, but you don't want to rush it because you never know what will happen. So same thing with all other stages as you are in here. Play cautiously, play slow. If you see an explosive, get rid of it. If you run into a wand like this, by all means, definitely take a peek at it, but don't go out of your way to put yourself in a dangerous position to grab it. So we have quite a big wand here. We actually have a lot of good spells on here, actually. So we're going to go ahead and grab that. We're not going to use them because this is going to be the last video of this run because I'm only going up to Hiisi Base. But if someone wants to see a video on the next couple stages, by all means, let me know. I can definitely go over kind of the game plan with those stages, show off some stuff in those stages. But as we kind of go down, kind of taking pot shots around the corner, letting our bouncy burst kind of give us a little bit of a warning of maybe what's coming around the corner. Let our homing put in the work that it needs to. So, this was a prime example of that propane tank being very scary. So, from here to out right here, if we kind of like watch this. See down here in the little bottom corner, as we let this gift play out, see this propane tank kind of just flying all over the place and started to make its way up this chute, which is where I was. You need to be... This is the big thing that will kill you in this place, is just propane tanks just flying at you because you shot them, whether it be on purpose or accidental. And this is the big reason why I say if you are going to shoot a propane tank, make sure you can get rid of it in like 2 or 3 shots at most. If you can't, go a different direction. Don't even bother trying to take a peek at it. Don't even bother trying to explore that area. If you see a propane tank and you can't get rid of it in like 2 or 3 shots, just that area does not exist to you. It doesn't exist. It doesn't, you can't explore it. Just ignore it. So, gonna very slowly make our way down. Another propane tank all the way at the end there. I took a pot shot at it and it just kind of flung over in this direction. It just detonated. But definitely taking very, very cautiously going through here. Taking our sweet time. Get rid of that barrel right there. Explosive. Any explosive you see, get rid of it. We got a guy right there that just jumped on me. We have a sentry right here. Gonna see if we can quickly get rid of him. Got a grenader dude. Kind of take a sweep over here. I'm gonna head up a smidge, kind of clear out anything that might be over here. Doesn't look like there's anything. So we should be fairly safe. I douse myself a little bit in water. Got a explosive right here in the snow, buried in the snow, which is something to be also cautious of. Explosives can be buried away in deep snow like this. So if you definitely be extremely careful as well. Sometimes you just aren't able to see it. I'm pretty sure that might be explosive right there. Nope, that's frozen rock. So check around. Nothing around here. There is a sentry right there, and it looks like we are at the bottom as well, which is good to know. Gonna go ahead and clear that out. Come down, grab that. We could enter the portal right now, but Hiisi Base, like I said, I really don't want to stay here any longer than I have to, so I might just jump into that portal immediately. But since I'm already at the bottom and I know I can safely just quickly go over there, I'm going to take kind of a quick little peek around the bottom, see if there is anything of noteworthy. Maybe a couple enemies or two for a little bit of extra gold. Doesn't look like it. Get rid of that explosive, which is actually a pretty convenient thing. If you see a propane tank next to another explosive, obviously shoot the other explosive that is not the tank, because it can chain detonate like that, and you don't have to deal with the propane tank's randomness. Got a couple guys over there. Got one wand. We will quickly grab that. Taking a couple shots, and we're going to go ahead and leave. So, that was the Hiisi Base. Again, probably not the best explanation of a lot of things, but I do hope that anything that you can take from that will help you at all with the Hiisi Base. The best thing that you can do with Hiisi Base, take it very slow, play very cautiously. Why do I have... what? Huh. That's new. Learning something new today. Hiisi Base, take it very slow, take it very cautiously. If you see an explosive in any degree, get rid of it as soon as you can. If you see a propane tank and you can't get rid of it, just ignore it. If you see something that you just can't get rid of and like at all, if you don't have the damage for it, if you don't have the safety for it to deal with it, just ignore it. Go with the opposite direction. play Hiisi Base extremely, extremely slow and extremely cautiously. Always make sure you have a place that you can go back to that you know you have cleared out. And always double check it as well every now and again as you're going along. Make sure you go back through the way that you just came. Make sure it's still cleared out because you never know. Enemies can roam into the places that you have cleared out. So it is extremely, extremely worth your time to just play Hiisi Base extremely, extremely safe and extremely cautiously. So, with that being said, I want to thank you guys very much for joining me on this video to the Hiisi Base. Much shorter length video than the last one for a pretty obvious reason. We only went through one stage and I kind of went through it as quickly as I kind of could because that's just what you should do with Hiisi Base. But before we head out, if you are a new player, I'm going to show you one combination of spells that is extremely powerful, that if you do get, you can take it to your first win, guaranteed. And that combination is a Luminous Drill that I told you to pick up. If you grab one, grab it. And Ping Pong Path. So, this is something these are kind of spell combinations and stuff that I'll explain in another video. Really good early spell combos that you can use and abuse. But for the sake of this one, because it's early game and it's just really quick, consider this just a bonus thing. If you ever get the chance to get a modifier, I should say, Ping Pong Path, whether it be an always cast or actually on a wand itself that you can take off and put on another wand, along with Lumi Drill, this 1-2 punch combination can be extremely, extremely potent. More so if you can get it to rapid fire like this. You basically have a long-range sniper of some sort that can rip through terrain so you can hide behind cover. Does a good amount of damage, is very cheap, very easy to get itself rolling. And honestly, if you can get this combination right here, you're good to go for a win. If you get this combination, you can basically guarantee yourself a win, regardless of how deep into a run you are. It is extremely potent. If you have not gotten a win yet, if you see this combination, run it. You will basically have your guaranteed win. So, with that being said, I want to thank you guys very much for joining me for this. This was actually quite a lot of fun. As I said, I'm still very new to the whole kind of commentary YouTube talky thing. So if you have any advice for me, definitely share it with me in the comments below. If you're a more experienced player in this game and you have something that you want to share with newer players, also share that in the comments below. Let us help the newer players pick up knowledge on this game and learn how to really get through it and really start to explore many of the secrets that this game has and the funny ways that this game can make and break you, as one would say. So, with that being said, the next couple videos are definitely going to be a lot more focused. I feel like the first video that I'm going to focus on after this will be a lot of the core mechanics of the game that I just straight up flat out ignored or didn't really talk about, as well as start going into more important things like wands and spells and how they interact with you and the world around you. So, with that being said, I want to thank you guys very much for taking the time to watch these couple of videos. If you have any ideas on what you would like to see from me, let me know in the comments below. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. And if you're an experienced player, as I said before, if you have things that you would like to share with new players as well, share them in the comments below. I might even learn something from you guys. With that being said, thank you guys very much for coming. Take care of yourselves, drink water, give hugs and kisses to your loved ones, and until next time, take care.